The doctor had came in earlier that day to break the news to my husband. Your wife is 2 months pregnant, but there's a bigger problem. She has stage 4 colon cancer, and from our examination, she can't live over 2 weeks. It was like all our world and dreams were shattered. Chuka, I told you I wasn't good for you, but you wouldn't listen. Now I can't even live to give you a seed, I said, tears streaming down my cheeks. Baby, don't say that. We'll pull through this. Nothing will happen to you, my love, he said, even if I know he was speaking the impossible. But such words of faith coming from a man, and not just a man, but my husband at least, it was more soothing. My husband Chuka was still consoling me before my girl's call came in. The hospital room felt cold, sterile, despite Chuka's comforting presence. We had spent a week in the hospital already after the diagnosis. I looked at the letter laying crumpled in my hand, a flimsy piece of paper holding the weight of a lifetime of deception and untold wealth. 7 days. 7 days to live, and then this. Mira, what is it? What's wrong? Chuka's voice was filled with concern, his eyes searching mine. He had been so patient, so understanding. A good man. Too good for a secret like mine. Chuka, I whispered, my voice hoarse. My mother, she said she didn't give me up. She said she was being blackmailed, that it was a setup for the police. He frowned, picking up the letter, and after reading the last few lines, his eyes widened. My God, Mira, this is unbelievable. Your mother was trying to protect you, and all this wealth, this is a lot. Yes, a lot. I scoffed, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. A lot of money I don't need. A lot of truth that's coming out too late. My aunt, Amarachi, visited the next day. She was older now, her face etched with worry lines, but her eyes still held the same warmth I remembered. We sat in my hospital room, Chuka respectfully giving us space, hovering just outside the door. Mira, my child, I'm so sorry about your mother. She suffered so much after you left. Suffered? I asked, my voice sharp. Auntie, she gave me away to that monster. She watched him abuse me and did nothing. She told me to comply. Auntie Amarachi shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. It wasn't like that, Mira. Not entirely. Your mother, she was trapped. Terzingwe was a dangerous man. He wasn't just your stepfather. He was a notorious land grabber, a drug kingpin, involved in all sorts of illegal dealings. Your grandfather, your mother's father, was a very wealthy man. He owned vast properties, businesses, hotels. He had no sons, so everything was willed to your mother. What? My mother never told me any of this. She always said we were struggling. But why will my grandfather will everything to my mother? How about Auntie Amarachi? I thought to myself. She couldn't, Mira. Terzingwe found out about the will. He threatened her. He blackmailed her with information about her past, things that could have landed her in prison even. He wanted control of your inheritance. He used you, Mira, as leverage. He told her if she didn't comply with his demands, he would expose her and he would hurt you. He was obsessed with getting his hands on that wealth. But she let him touch me. She told me to do what he wanted. The words were choked, still heavy with the pain of a child's betrayal. That night, the night she told you to go to their room, Auntie Amarachi continued, her voice trembling. She wasn't giving you away. That was when she finally agreed to work with the police. They had been building a case against Tazingwe for years, but they needed solid, undeniable evidence of his depravity, especially against a minor, to secure a conviction that would stick. They told your mother that if she could get him to confess, or if she could create a situation where they could catch him in the act, they could finally take him down. She was wearing a wire and had a camera positioned in the room mirror. Everything he did was recorded. The police were outside waiting to raid the house. She was terrified for you, but she was even more terrified of what he would do if she didn't cooperate and if he wasn't caught. She truly believed that if she didn't do what the police asked, he would eventually kill both of you to get the inheritance. She was desperate to protect you and the inheritance, which was truly meant for you. I stared at her, my mind reeling. My mother, a police informant? That night, a setup? The pieces started to fit in a horrifying, heartbreaking way. The way she had looked at me when I told her about the bleeding, the way she had dismissed my pleas. Perhaps it was fear, not indifference. But it went wrong, Mira, Auntie Amarachi said, tears streaming down her face. Something went wrong. Tazingwe was stronger than they anticipated. He was one step ahead. Your mother waited for the police, but they didn't show up, only to discover they were lying dead outside. About 5 of them. Tenzingwe boys had slaughtered them. That night, while you were in your room, Tenzingwe men had taken your mom away to be killed. By the time the police reinforced in the morning, you were already gone. They caught up with him eventually, but he was killed during the raid. Your mother was found in a nearby bush, shot in the head, and was rushed to the hospital. That was one of the causes of her death years later because she never fully recovered. When she revived, she was devastated. She searched for you tirelessly, thinking she had failed you, that she had driven you away forever. She kept the wealth hidden because she knew Tenzingwe's associates, his family, would still be looking for it. She wanted to protect it for you, for when it was safe. My mother's letter, the staggering sums, the estates, the hotel. It wasn't greed that kept it hidden. It was fear. It was an act of a mother trying to protect her child, even if it meant making impossible, devastating choices. A few days later, my condition worsened. The doctors confirmed it was aggressive. There was nothing more they could do. Chuka was by my side, holding my hand, his face pale but resolute. I looked at him, truly saw him, the good man who loved me unconditionally, who had shown me that not all men were monsters. Later that day, Chuka told Auntie Amarachi about my condition. She was broken. Then she came to me and said, "Mira, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice urgent, her eyes darting to Chuka. "Something your mother begged me to tell you if this day ever came. Something she said would change everything. It's something that was not included in that letter." I looked at her, then at Chuka. What could possibly be left? "The inheritance, Mira," Auntie Amarachi continued, her voice dropping to a whisper. "The wealth, it's not from your grandfather." "I thought as much," I said in my mind. "It's from your father." "My father? The one who disappeared when I was 8? But he just left. He had nothing," I said. Auntie Amarachi shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "He didn't just leave, Mira. He was a deep-cover police officer working to expose a huge international syndicate. Tenzingwe was part of it. Your father faked his disappearance to infiltrate the network completely. He amassed that wealth as part of his undercover operation, building a financial empire from the inside, gathering evidence. He deposited it all in those accounts, under a false identity, knowing that if anything happened to him, it would eventually come to you. He trusted your mother to protect it until it was safe. He was killed in the line of duty, trying to bring down the whole network. Your mother never told you because she didn't want you to live in fear, always looking over your shoulder. She wanted you to have a normal life away from that dangerous world. Tenzingwe, your so-called stepfather, was actually one of the men who killed your father. He was after your father's wealth, which he thought was his own ill-gotten gains. Your mother's plan with the police wasn't just about getting justice for you, Mira. It was about getting justice for your father too. I stared at her, the room spinning. My father a hero? My mother a protector? And the wealth was not a curse, but a legacy, a testament to their sacrifices. Every painful memory, every twisted truth suddenly shifted, rearranged itself into a mosaic I never could have imagined. I wasn't just a victim. I was the heiress to a legacy forged in sacrifice and courage, and my mother's final act was to ensure I finally knew the truth. But you know what is more painful? Why am I getting to know all these when I have just a few days to live on Earth? I thought about everything, and tears keep streaming down my eyes like a flowing ocean.